So for part 2, I'm going to teach you how to do a burn. Now again, for most of the kids that we're going to be dealing with tomorrow as far as their gore, there's not a lot of burns on the, because again, it's supposed to be a tornado attack. That being said, however, I still want you to know because frankly, it's really, really easy. If you ever see a horror movie that has burns, they look real and they're super easy. So here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and take out that paintbrush you used before for your liquid latex. It should be all gunked up at this point. And again, you can see how mine's really, it's up in there. Gross. Feel free to kind of like, rip it apart just a little bit. But again, you don't have to clean it, don't worry. Okay, so we're going to take the liquid latex, and really, honestly, the liquid latex is going to do the job for us. Okay, so if you want to do a burn, I'm just going to find another spot on my forearm. Okay, so I'm going to take some liquid latex. I'm going to apply it pretty liberally, pretty heavily to my arm. Kind of find a spot right there. Oops. Again, just kind of apply it. Feel free to blow on it as well, it'll dry quicker. And again, as you're going along, you may find a couple cool techniques online that are different than what I'm showing you. I would highly encourage you guys to find other techniques if you don't like what I'm teaching you. I won't lie, I didn't go to school for this. There are schools for this if you're interested. The Tom Savini School up in Pennsylvania is phenomenal. But I didn't go for school for this. This is just stuff that I've learned while working a couple sets and things like that. So different techniques that I've kind of made up along the way. So I've put on some liquid latex. I'm just going to kind of blow it dry real quick. Now we're going to do burn. So we're returning here. So I've got this patch of my arm. You can see it's definitely shiny right now. But it really dries pretty clear. But you'll notice that if I kind of tug on it, it really kind of pulls my whole arm. Like it's on there pretty good, right? So just like rubber cement, here's what you're going to do. Just take your hands, or you could use a paintbrush or something if you want to, but I'll just, and kind of start picking at it. Just like a weird zit. And eventually, you'll break through. Gosh, totally got a hair, and that hurts. Eventually, you'll kind of get through, but you can see, I can really pull on this stuff, and it doesn't hurt me at all, right? But you can really tug, and you can get into there quite a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut a wound real quick. Kind of like a rubber band, or a gum band for my Pittsburgh friends. You can kind of start tugging and pulling on it. And as you do, it's going to separate, and you'll see these little tiny holes, little tiny cracks. Let that go. Don't try to get a big hole, because again, we're not doing a wound necessarily, we're doing a burn. So we want little tiny pockets to form. I'll see if I can zoom in just a little bit so you can see what's going on. Whoa. So you can see I'm getting this kind of like scabbing right up in here, where I'm kind of just tugging on it. I'm getting these little tiny tugs. It should peel on the skin pretty tightly. Again, mine's got a couple hairs, so it definitely doesn't feel very good right now. Be very cognizant, be very aware of your clientele. If they're not looking comfortable, then you should do everything in your power to make them comfortable. So again, I'm just kind of picking away at it, and you can see it's getting very, almost like sunburn looking if you take a second here. Very sunburn looking, right? Like I'm peeling flesh away. So all I'm going to do now is go back to my color palette. Right? I'm going to take a little bit of the kind of the brownish red and the regular red, kind of tone it up a little bit so it's definitely inflamed. It's not happy, right? I can even, if I want to, let's see, I can get a little bit of this red, a little bit of that dark red, and if I wanted to, I could actually have someone like pick up this little hole that I've got on my arm. You can see right there, right? Pick up that little hole and kind of get a little bit of red kind of underneath. So basically I'm painting my actual arm right now, but I've got that latex underneath of it. Yeah, I'm using a little bit of blue on there too. And anytime you're doing underneath, you want to mix in just a slight amount of that blue. Not a lot, but just enough. There's a lot more purples in makeup than we give ourselves credit for. So yeah, you can kind of see where my skin is right now. Just get those wounds. And again, I'm going to use this stipple brush, a little bit of red, and just kind of go over top of it. Again, that stipple brush is really, for everything you do, that stipple brush should be kind of your last little effect. Okay, and I'll zoom out real quick. So you can see, you end up with a pretty good kind of blistering on the arm. Cool.